Well, if you wouldn't mind, we'll do some finishing business here, so if I can just step up there for a second, then we'll get a couple more questions in if you'll just stand by. So as many of you know, we're almost out of time, and before asking the last question of the day, a couple of housekeeping matters to take care of, and first among those is just reminding you about some immediately upcoming luncheons. Ken Burns, the documentarian filmmaker, will be here on Monday to talk about his new film, Prohibition. On October 5th, Ron Paul, a candidate for the GOP presidential nomination. That's the 5th of October, and that event is sold out. We just announced October 24th, TMZ's Harvey Levin will talk about the changing landscape in entertainment news. So before I get to the last question, if you'll just come right over here, we present our speakers on a routine basis with our token of our appreciation, and thank you very much, our National Press Club coffee mug.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elon. Go ahead and take that. So we'll see if we have time for more than one question here at the end, but these are on the lighter side, as many of you know in the audience. Let me ask you, first of all, what's the one great idea that you've seen from somebody else, and as the slogan goes, I could have had a V8. Why didn't I think of that? There's probably been more than one, but which of those loom largest in your mind? And please stand up to the microphone.
Sorry, which?
A great idea that you saw someone else had, and you wished you had had it yourself, or expressed that idea.
Well, there's lots of great ideas that people come up with all the time. I don't necessarily wish I'd had them myself, but certainly, what Larry and Sergey came up with Google was really smart. With the backward links to pages. Obviously, what Facebook has done, Twitter. I mean, there are great examples on the internet,
Those are American companies.
Yeah, iPad, obviously iPhone. I think Apple, Google, Facebook. I mean, there's examples where it's like, you're sort of like, who's our competition? You're like, not even sure. Okay.
How is it that America is able to innovate so well, given all the challenges, when we have great companies like that performing so well?
Sorry.
In other words, in many ways, the nation continues to be a great innovator.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you explain that? How does that continue to happen? Why is that?
Well, the United States, it's kind of like the statement about democracy. It's a bad system, but it's the least bad. Well, the United States is the least bad at encouraging innovation. And then Silicon Valley, actually, I'd say, is particularly good at encouraging innovation. But Silicon Valley is just, orders of magnitude better than any other place in the world for creating new companies and fostering innovation. It's quite remarkable. So I don't think we necessarily need to worry about some other country out there out innovating us. I don't think people realize almost all innovation in the world comes from America. It's like, it's true. I mean, a ridiculous percentage. But that doesn't mean it couldn't be better. And I think we need to be concerned about excess regulation, a tax structure that potentially doesn't promote innovation. Because the thing to remember is when companies are little, they're like tadpoles. I mean, they just die very easily. And so you need to have an environment which tries to protect little companies and help them get bigger. Silicon Valley does that very well. And America, in general, does that very well relative to other countries. But most other countries tend to foster and protect, or rather, they tend to protect the big companies. Big companies don't need protection.
Very well put. How about a round of applause for our guest speaker today? Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you for coming today. We'd like to thank the National Press Club staff, including our Library and Broadcast Center, for organizing today's event. And you can find more information about the National Press Club on our website. You can get a copy of the program. Please check that out at www.press.org. Thank you, and we're adjourned. It was great meeting you. Nice to meet you. Absolutely. Thanks so much. You did a wonderful job. He's a fun one. you benefit by that every day. Absolutely. Absolutely. And seriously, I mean, I know he's been here